Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tom here. Every week I release videos showing you how to make money with smart investments and also go through the latest financial news. And talking financial news, we need to talk about ARK Invest's latest report on Tesla stock. They just released it this weekend and there's some crazy figures going on in there. Really interesting stuff. I'm going to have a go through the numbers in a minute and what that could mean on the return for the stock in the next 5 years. But first, let's have a look at what Wall Street think of the stock. So Tesla's currently trading today at $691. We've got very split opinions amongst the analysts. As you can see there, we've got 8 analysts rating it a strong buy or a buy, 8 are saying hold, and then 7 either underperform or sell. There's an average price target on it of $621, which is a fair bit down from the current $691. So, you know, the average opinion on Wall Street is that over the next 12 months, the stock is going to lose money. Now, ARK Invest have obviously got a very different opinion. Now, one thing you've got to remember here is that Tesla are ARK's biggest holding. They obviously have high conviction of them, but also it means that that is in their advantage to give high predictions because it might help to move the stock in their direction. Now, I don't believe that's the case. I think that they're very open about most investment firms don't publish their research like ARK do, and I have a lot of respect for that. Not only do they publish their opinions, but they actually literally the whole breakdown. You can download the spreadsheet with all of the kind of granular data and you can change it yourself. So Tesla have obviously already had a crazy year, a 700% return in the last 12 months. Cathie is one of the most successful and respected investors over the past few years, and I love the way they're so transparent with their research. But at the end of the day, you should do your own due diligence when buying a stock. Don't just listen to these price predictions and blindly buy in. Have a look through the numbers yourself and make your own decisions before. You need to understand what you're getting into an investment. Don't blindly follow others. So with that said, let's jump in and have a look at the numbers. Okay, so ARK's price target for Tesla in 2025. So last year, ARK estimated that in 2024, Tesla's share price would be $7,000 per share, or $1,400 adjusted for its 5-to-1 stock split. Based on our updated research, we now estimate that it could approach $3,000 in 2025. To arrive at this forecast, ARK used a Monte Carlo model with 34 inputs, the high and low forecasts incorporating 40,000 possible simulations. So before we go any further, what is a Monte Carlo model? Well, it's a simulation that's used to model the probability of different outcomes in a process that cannot easily be predicted due to the intervention of random variables. It's a technique used to understand the impact of risk and uncertainty in prediction and forecasting models. So basically, it's a slightly more accurate way of predicting what could happen using thousands and thousands of variables and accounting for sort of random events. So our bear and bull price targets at the top and the bottom quartile outcomes from the simulations as shown below. So their base case, the expected value of Tesla stock in 2025, so just 5 years from now, is $3,000, and this prediction is our base case for Tesla stock based on a Monte Carlo analysis. Their bear case is $1,500, and we believe that there is a 25% probability that Tesla could be worth $1,500 per share or less in 2025. And finally, the bull case of $4,000, and they believe also there's a 25% probability of that could be worth $4,000 or more by 2025. So let's have a quick look through what that means for the current stock. So as I mentioned earlier, the stock price is currently $690-ish. So on that base case of being worth $3,000 in 5 years, that gives the stock an upside of 334%, which is not too shabby at all. I mean, I would definitely take that. That's a really, really strong return for a stock. That's a 4.3 times return on current levels in 5 years, and that would give it a market cap of 2.6 billion. Well, bear in mind that Apple, the biggest company in the US at the moment, has a market cap of just under 2.1 billion, so that would make Tesla the biggest company in the world. Obviously Apple and other companies will grow during these 5 years, but it's putting up there with one of the top companies. So the bear case of $1,500, that still gives the stock an upside of 117%. Now, I always say that if anything can double within 7 years, then I'm happy. That's a return of 10% a year. So that's over doubling in 5 years. So again, that's a really strong return. So that's basically the worst case scenario in ARK's prediction. It doesn't mean that they're right, but still, that's quite an incredible return for a worst case scenario. So that would be a 2.2 times return from the current levels and give Tesla a market cap of $1.34 billion. Finally, the bull case, which is very exciting if that was to come about, would be a $4,000 market cap. There's an upside of 478% on the current levels, which is a 5.8 times return over the next 5 years. And that would give Tesla a market cap of $3.52 billion, which is quite crazy when you think about it. That's almost double the current market cap of Apple, being the biggest company in the US in the S&P 500, which is quite astounding if that were to be the case. So let's have a look through a bit more of the research that explains how they got to these figures and what it all means. So here you've got last year's figures, 2020. They sold 500,000 cars with an average selling price of $50,000 a car. So there's just a couple of example cases there and a bear and bull case, and these are just 2 examples out of 40,000 simulations. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything, it's just an interesting thing to look at. Kind of goes through all of the different revenues, and you've got to consider here that Tesla aren't really a car company, and no, that's what they make, but you've got to consider them as a tech company, which is why they have such high valuation. They have a lot of different ways of making money through things like subscription of autonomous technology. You've got the insurance revenue, which they didn't disclose from last year what they made from that, but currently it's only available in California, but if it works and they roll it out to the rest of the world, there could be significant money to be made there. And a huge potential revenue in the future is when their cars go fully autonomous and they can basically turn them into robo-taxis. And in this report, ARK gives some possibilities and probabilities of when that could happen. They think there's a 50% chance that that could happen in the next 5 years by 2025. And that's going to really transform Tesla's revenue once that gets rolled out. So one more thing I wanted to mention, this note here, we do not model Tesla's utility energy storage or solar business in our models. We also have not modeled Bitcoin assumptions. For ARK's work on Bitcoin as corporate cash, please download our latest Big Ideas presentation. Now, I'd really highly recommend that Big Ideas presentation, and actually I might make a video going through it because it's really interesting. It basically shows the main areas of innovation that ARK think are going to take off in the coming years. So some really exciting and interesting numbers there. As I said before, I don't own Tesla stock, but I'm interested in getting in. I'm just waiting for a good entry point because I think that the market's a bit unstable at the moment with the tech sell-off that's been happening. I think that it could possibly keep going over the next couple of months as bond yields rise. So I think we could see some more dips in highly valued stocks like Tesla and growth companies. So I'm going to plan to buy in when I see a good opportunity and then dollar cost average in over the next couple of years. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you found this useful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.